as to Cam Heyward, he had practiced early in training camp. As of August 7, he stopped. And he made it clear it wasn't an injury. He wanted his contract to be addressed. He wanted to be properly valued. And he explained to reporters a little over a week ago that when he signed his latest contract, and it was early September of last year, because you know the Steelers, one of their rules, once the season starts, no more contracts, which makes no sense, but that's one of their rules. So right before the season, he signs a 2-year extension worth $29 million, $14.5. He could have played out his contract in 2024, become a free agent, first-team All-Pro. Who knows where he could have gone? He was making noise about signing with the Browns in the 2024 offseason as he was trying to get that deal from the Steelers. Well, now he got the deal from the Steelers, and he said he told them, expect me to be back when I'm an All-Pro, and they giggled. And he's back, and he held in. Deliberately decided to not practice from August 7 until yesterday. Yesterday, back at practice. Why? Because at some point, it ends. At some point, they're not bowing to what you want. At some point, you've got to get ready for week 1. At some point, you're engaging in conduct detrimental to the team. That's the thing about the hold-in. The team still holds the cards because they can say from the get-go, you're fined. Oh, you're deliberately not going to practice because you want a new contract? Okay, fine. I understand that. You're fined. You're fined for refusing to work. And at some point, they're fined for refusing to play. That's what he's getting paid for. So I think that whether it's him, McLaurin, Chris Boswell, the Steelers kicker who for some reason thought that a hold-in was going to make a difference for Pittsburgh, the hold-in has to end. Trey Hendrickson, at some point, the hold-in has to end, or the team has a whole array of devices available under the collective bargaining agreement to force you to work. You're already there. You can't just show up and not work. I mean, I hate to make it that simple, but it is that simple. If you hold in, if you show up so you don't have to pay the fines, you are at work. At some point, you have to work. And Cam Heyward realized yesterday, this isn't working. It's time to get to work. It's time to get ready for that week 1 game.
Well, what do you think? You think you think they told him or gave him any inklings about maybe we'll do something still, or we'll get a little sweetener on top of the pot that way? I mean, he is definitely in the Steelers Hall of Fame. He's headed to the Hall of Fame in general. He's one of the top players in the organization over the last 20 years for sure. I know they want to do right by him, right? What do you think they do? I know with him, he's looking at, of course, yeah, he feels underpaid. We know you explained it all right. I'm not disagreeing. He's also looking at Jalen Ramsey, and they gave him a little sweetener through the door as well, right? And doing that, and he's probably going, what the hell? So I just wonder if they kind of said, hey, get back to work, and we're working on something here to make you a little happier. That's what I wonder. I don't know that. I'm wondering if you do, or if you got a feel for that.
Well, if I thought that they were working on something to make me a little happier, I'd be even more leery about exposing myself to injury, because I don't think any team is going to finalize a deal that gives you more money, that takes more risk off of your plate and puts it on theirs once that risk has come to fruition in the form of a serious injury. I wouldn't be doing that. I would want it all to be done. I struggle with this. Because, and let's be clear, ESPN reported that there's been no movement on his request for a renegotiated contract. Right. So you come back and all right, if I do all the right things, if I check all the right boxes, if I go back to work and get ready for week 1, maybe they'll take care of me before week 1, because we know after week 1 they're not going to take care of me, because they don't take care of anybody, because rules are rules. As dumb as they may be, rules are rules. No contracts for anyone once the season starts. It's just amazing to me. That's something that a dysfunctional team should do. How did the Steelers overcome that kind of self-inflicted barrier to doing the right thing for the team? Oh, we don't do any contracts.
Well, have they? I don't know. Maybe that's one of the things you can point at. All right? I mean,
they don't.
Yeah.
No, but they don't.
I know.
Well, that's the thing. They've been fine, but maybe they'd be better.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they'd be better. Maybe they would have won a playoff game.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's holding them back at some level. But the point is, there's a limited window now for this deal to get done. Chris, look, I'm as pro player or more pro player than anyone in the media. I want players to get paid what they're worth. But when you're a grizzled veteran that's been around for 13 seasons and you're sitting down with the Steelers on the eve of the 2024 season opener, and you can either finish your contract and roll the dice in free agency, you can take their offer and get some security, and it doesn't have anything in there that escalates your salary if you're a first-team All-Pro. It doesn't have any incentive in there that's going to be added to your 2024 pay if you're a first-team All-Pro. At some point, that's on you and your agent.
Yeah.
Because you tell your agent what your objectives are, your agent takes your objectives and turns them into a contract. Saying after the ink is dried, I'll be back when I'm a first-team All-Pro, they giggled because the joke's on you at that point. You've signed your contract. You're committed for 3 more years. And there is an element of business risk that a player who isn't stuck with a slotted rookie deal, who can actually negotiate and choose door number 1 versus door number 2. He chose door number 1, and everybody wants to act like he chose door number 2. And if I'm the Steelers, I'm like, that's not how we do things here, Cam.
Yeah.
That's not how we do things here.
Yeah.
You're a grown-ass man. You signed your contract. You knew what you were signing. Why would we change it now? Why would we change it? If you'd suffered a torn ACL week 1, you'd expect us to honor the terms of this contract, even though it would be bad for us. You were an All-Pro. We benefit from that. You signed the contract last year. And it's hard for me to say that. But at some point, that's the basic reality of doing business in any setting, in any context. You make your decision, and you have to live with it.
Yeah, well, I think that's where you and I have a hard time with both. I mean, the Cam Heyward and the Trey Hendrickson thing are a little bit where it's like you could see the team's point of view here. Because Trey Hendrickson's is not totally too far different from that a little bit. Down year, wait, here's some money. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Wait, now I did better. Wait, I don't like what I just took. I want more. I hear you there. It's a tough one. It really is. And, yeah, I think Cam Heyward's probably realized that. I don't really think, too, like the Steelers chuckled. I know he said that. I have a hard time believing, like, Mike Tomlin and them were like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, sure. That's not how they operate. I don't see that. They probably were like, okay, yeah, they probably smile and were like, yeah, shove it back in our face if you can. Go ahead, do it. And, you know, he did do it. But that doesn't mean you're going to get a new contract. So, yeah, he seems like he's read the writing on the wall and he's back at work, and here we go.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.